I can do, sir, please. Don't do this to my wife, man. You don't know what you're doing to my family, man. Please. I'm begging you. I'm literally where am I going to put my feet? Sir, I'm begging you, please. Please. Please.
That is not a crime, and you're telling me to get out of my vehicle.
Do you know where Lieutenant Mingus is right now? So, no, he's not in the building?
I don't know. I'm not.
What do you know? I'm not telling you nothing else until I find out who's driving that vehicle. You not a supervisor, bro. I need somebody higher than you right now.
If you didn't know, I went to the police academy and they kicked me out.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
Spit me on my face right now. She spit in my face.
Today's video apparently takes us to Los Angeles, California, where we're going to find a much younger Chille De Castro talking about private things. Oh, dearie me, it's a good one. Let's all sit back, watch, have a good laugh, and most of all, enjoy!
Chille and his jock sock. What is that? What is that all about?
Jock sock was, most you fitness guys know that we have to tan all the time. If you're a fitness guy, you got to tan all the time. So,
yep, part of the job.
4 years ago, I saw a really inspirational documentary called it was called What the Bleep Do We Know? The name of the documentary was.
What the Bleep Do We Know?
What the Bleep Do We Know is the name of the documentary, if you guys want to check it out. And that inspired me to create a sock for your jock for indoor tanning beds, because for years I was wearing a sock. And come to find out that a sock doesn't actually protect your package.
Oh, dearie me. I wonder how Chille's protecting his package now. He's in the slammer, or perhaps the pokey, or perhaps both. Oh, that must be a terrible thing, Chille, not to be able to protect your package in there.
So after tons of research, I actually figured out that a jock sock made of a particular type of blend of fiber actually blocks UV light, and it covers the captain and co-pilot.
You did some research into this material then?
I did. And then after a while, you know, it's 4th year in business, I needed help, I needed a business partner, so David Kimberly came around, and I jumped at the chance. The guy's smart, attractive, ambitious, so we've been rocking it ever since.
Now wait a minute. Chille just said another man's attractive? A man never says another man's attractive. I didn't know Chille went that way. Yeah, maybe he's doing okay in jail after all then, showing off his package. Lovely.
Take you back to the beginning about wearing a sock over your jock in the tanning beds. Is that really necessary? You know, I know you've got to wear the eye protectors going there to protect the eyes, and if you have lotion on to add moisture to the skin, but I mean, really, is it necessary for a sock on the jock?
Let me break it down for like the basic person who just, you know, isn't a big thinker. High pressure UV light and your testicles. I want kids. I'm over 30 years old. I want kids. I want kids one day. And I tan all the time. I have that narcissism about me where I like to be tan, I like to look good, I like to be brown.
So Chille's 30 years old in this video, and now he's what, 50? And now look at him. Oh man, you don't have to worry about any UV light on your package anymore, bro. All you got to worry about is, well, Bubba on your package.
And at the same time, I want function every day. Every single day. Until I die. Until I die. And I don't want any light on my reproductive organs. What it does is it actually binds together to block out UV light. The material itself actually binds together to form a barrier that blocks out UV light. It's absolutely amazing technology. When I go in and get airbrushed or spray tanned, well, we just met, you know, and here I am standing in front of some lady that I don't know, and if I'm going to do a show, I got to look a certain way.
So what are you trying to tell us here, Chille? You don't like standing naked in front of women you don't know? That wouldn't bother me. I don't know. I don't think it would bother most men. Of course, unless you're, you know, you might be ashamed of your package. I don't know. Are you ashamed of your package? Is that what it is? Oh, Chille, you don't have to be ashamed anymore. Bubba loves you. Yes, he does.
Then I want to be tan everywhere, but I don't want her necessarily to look at my kibbles and bits. Is that what they say back in England?
It's one of the terms, yeah. But I mean, first off, no, not first off. You want to keep that protected.
I make a facial product for women called Face Force Field. It's called Face Force Field. I make a cover for your face, and it's made out of like real pretty butterflies and rainbows and hearts and things like that. Something real pretty, turquoise,
all the pretty
purple.
Stuff that women.
Right. I also make a black one and a silver one for guys to cover your face if you want to cover your face when you're tanning it. But the facial protection has really made Jock Sock the company that it is.
Now I wonder what happened to the Jock Sock, because I don't see it on Chille's website. Oh, that's such a good idea, because, you know, we get a lot of sunlight in the summertime, and I might want to lay out on my balcony, and man, that's the last thing I need, is to have too much UV light on my package. Yeah.
You know, originally, I did not make Jock Sock for sale. I made Jock Sock for me. 4 years ago, I made the first Jock Sock for me and me alone. And then a friend of mine said, Chille, that's a fantastic idea. Why don't you put it on the market?
What was a friend doing seeing your Jock Sock?
Well, the first one I made that actually was actually 99% UVP, and I put it on when I was asleep. It has a drawstring on it, so everything goes in the pouch. And then I tucked the drawstring in, and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning, and I woke up, Eureka! I had actually come up with a Jock Sock that works.
Woo-wee, folks, I do apologize. There's way too much information there. But I do apologize. It's too late to leave now, man. That was some top secret confidential stuff, wasn't it? Woo!
It's actually 6 inches around, 8 inches deep, so it can. The Jock Sock. Yeah. Well.
Wow.
Well, I was embarrassed.
Well, on that note, I think we should take a short commercial break, but.
I agree, Sonny boy. After that lot, I think we all need a break. But hey, I'm gonna roll a couple of clips here, and you already know what they are. Chille in court being sentenced to 180 days in jail, and then I might run his appeal that was denied. Yeah, because I'm having a good time. Roll those clips.
All right, Jose Castro, 23 CR 013015.
Good morning, Your Honor. Agnes Botello and Lincoln Cave for the record. Good morning, State.
Good morning, Michael. Me on behalf of the defendant present with people this morning.
So I have signed 2 media requests that permit recording or photographing these proceedings, but I have not granted any other requests to record or live stream these proceedings. So I need Mr. DeCastro and everybody else who wants to stay in the courtroom to surrender their phones, or you can leave.
Are your phone helping, and I'll take one, or you can exit.
I need Mr. DeCastro to empty all of his pockets.
What's that?
Empty
your pockets and give up your phones to the judge.
Okay.
I have to give you my phones?
Yeah.
My phones have to be completely off.
Yep. I don't really want to be part of your YouTube channel. So.
You already are.
Great.
You already are.
Awesome.
I'm not going to get into this guy, though. I'll give him someone else.
No, no, they're going to go to my marshal.
He's a pig.
Excuse me?
I said he's a pig.
Okay. So I'm not going to permit you to speak to anybody in my courtroom in that manner. And if you don't want to apologize, I'm going to hold you in contempt.
I apologize to the court, Your Honor.
No, you can apologize to... They've done nothing to you.
Actually, Your Honor, when you were here, you came over and gave me a directive for no reason and started telling me what to do.
Okay, well...
I have all the respect in the world for the court. I follow the rule of law all the time.
No, it is their job to maintain the safety and security of the courtroom.
I agree with you, Your Honor.
So, if you want to speak like that in my courtroom, I'm going to hold you in contempt. And if I hold you in contempt, you're going to jail. That is not my wish. Okay?
I wish either.
All right. So I need you to empty your pockets too. Suit pocket, pants pocket.
This is illegal. This is a violation of my Fourth Amendment.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. I don't have any recording devices on me. What are you talking about?
How about suit jacket?
I don't have anything on me. This is preposterous.
No, it's
This really is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Me, your phone too. Off.
They're recording everything.
They have a media request.
Right, and I'm not recording anything. Your guy here took my phone, so his phone's not on.
Right.
Should make sure you can take the lawyer's phone too?
No, I'm not going to take the lawyer's phone. He's an officer of the court. All right. Do we have everybody's phones? Are they off? All right. Good. All right.
So within the first couple of minutes here, Chille's managed to offend the judge, offend the police, and probably offend his mama. Yeah, Chille, you better watch it, because you'll be held in contempt of court. Well, it plays out even better than that. Let's keep rolling the clip.
All right, this is the time set for the trial of State of Nevada versus Jose De Castro, 23 CR 013015. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
How many witnesses do you have?
We anticipate one.
All right, is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I have your request to convert counsel to standby counsel. I'm going to deny that request. Either you represent him or he should have previously requested a Faretta canvas to represent himself. That I just consider that a delay tactic, so that request is denied. Are you ready to proceed? Otherwise, I'm assuming you are.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's see.
Now, we're not going to listen to the entire proceeding. I'll put a link in the description box if you want to watch the entire thing for yourself. But look at the smart-ass look on Chille's face. Oh, he's real smug now. But about 90 minutes from now, he's not going to be so smug. Let's go ahead and jump ahead a bit.
1 hour later.
Your Honor, I call Jose De Castro.
Yeah.
Raise your right hand to be sworn by the clerk. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please be seated.
Mr. De Castro, before you testify, I'm obligated to inform you that you have the right to testify in this proceeding, but you also have the right to remain silent, and should you choose to remain silent, I may not hold that against you in making my decision. Do you understand that?
I do.
And do you still wish to testify?
Yes, I do.
All right, please go ahead.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
Can you give some insight into what that channel was about?
Objection, relevance.
What's the relevance?
Your Honor, the relevance is that we're presenting a First Amendment defense, and the defendant is a member of the press. There's different standards for First Amendment rulings where there's public policy at issue. He can give insight into that.
I'm going to allow it for a bit and see where it goes.
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel, and the reason I have a YouTube channel is because of how many cops kill people every year, how many cops hurt, maim, torture, rape, and kill people every single year. It's such an epidemic that the rest of the world, I get thousands of emails saying, only in America does this happen. I started filming cops because when I was cheated in 2002.
Objection at this point. Relevance.
Well, this is the reason I'm a member of the press.
This narrative.
So, can you ask him a question?
Yes, Your Honor. What type of films do you make for your YouTube channel?
I only film police in their official capacity. I'm known across the country and across the world.
Oh, you pompous twit. I'm known all over the world. Yeah, for being a jackwagon. No doubt about it. But let's listen in some more, shall we?
And why do you engage in that type of filming?
So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Mead, to direct your questions about the incident in question.
The reason I was filming Mr. Gort that day?
Objection, Your Honor. Oh, I'm sorry.
So
there wasn't a question posed, so I'm not sure what he was saying.
Mr. De Castro, on the day in question, why did you approach that vehicle?
I was filming that cop because that's what I do for a living. I am a member of the press, and I invoked my right to be press. I always invoke my right to be press within the first 10 seconds of engaging with police, and I have thousands of videos that prove this.
So this is how you make money?
This is not how specifically I make money. I make money from selling legal documents to people.
Okay, go ahead.
Now wait a minute, Chille. You want us to believe that you make your money from selling indestructible trifolds? According to Social Blade, you're making a shitload of money. Let's say those figures are way off and you only make 1/3 of that. That's still a sizable amount of money. But you want us to believe you make all your money from selling books and trifolds online? Right, sonny boy. We were born at night, but it wasn't last night. How stupid do you think we are? And the judge is smarter than you.
Do you recall the officer telling you to back up?
Yes, I do.
And what did you do after he told you to back up?
I took a couple steps back. I just showed him that I was willing to back up a little bit. However, if I may, in Arizona, they created a 10-foot law.
Objection, relevance, we're not in Arizona, it's the state of Nevada.
So I'm gonna allow it because I think that goes to why he kept saying 10 feet in the video, even though I will take judicial notice that you're not in the state of Arizona, you're in the state of Nevada.
Well, a federal judge struck it down, Your Honor, and...
Stop. Can you ask him a question?
Yes, Your Honor. Approximately how many feet did you back up?
I backed up a foot or two. I was at least 10 feet away from that car that the driver was pulled over in.
And when you spoke to the driver, what did you say?
Just after she was okay. The reason I filmed police is because they abuse people so often.
Do you recall the officer telling you not to speak with the driver?
Yes.
And did you make any statements to the driver after that command was given?
Absolutely not.
Did the officer ever give you a specific distance to back up to?
No, he didn't.
If he did, would you have complied with that?
Sure.
Did you believe you were complying with the officer's commands?
100%. I also informed him I'm a member of the press, I'm a constitutional law scholar, that this is what I do.
Now, just so we're all on the same page here, let's take a quick look at what got Chille into trouble into the first place. Roll that brief clip.
Don't tell me what to do.
Please go that way.
Don't tell me what to do.
Then let's just
You're not my boss.
I'm giving you a lawful order. Let's start walking now. Let's go. We're going this way.
Are you going to put your hands on me now? Leave me
Bro,
alone.
listen, sir, this way.
Well, don't touch me, dude.
I'm just
standing here.
I'm to where you need to go.
Are you guys going to surround me? Leave me alone.
I am escorting you to where
There's
you
no
need
reason
to
to
go.
do this. I'm not trying to fight anybody.
There's
no victim here. There's no crime. You're just trying to dominate another person. Just leave me alone. Okay, I can leave, but you don't have to walk up on me.
Let's go.
So what's the emergency? Is there an emergency?
Somebody's dead, sir. Is that enough emergency?
Well, where are they at?
Let's go.
Where are they at? Where are they at? Are they right here?
Let's go.
Do you recall the officer explaining to you why he decided to arrest you?
There's several parts to the reason why he said he was going to arrest me. He said he was going to arrest me because I wouldn't turn my head a certain direction. If I didn't turn and face the car with my head, that he would place me under arrest instead of just giving me a ticket.
Do you recall him explaining why he decided to detain you before he arrested you?
He decided to detain me because he said I was obstructing, which, from my understanding, is a physical act where I would have to get in the way. He said that the driver deserves privacy. I believe my First Amendment rights are not up for feelings.
Did he explain to you that the basis of your detention was related primarily to the issue of privacy or the issue of you backing up?
Well, I think from the officer's testimony, we can see that he's scared of the driver, scared of me, scared of everything. They teach them to be afraid of everything. So I had 2 cameras out. It's identified as a member of the press. I'm sorry, repeat the question. I want to get it specific for the record.
Sure. The question was, did the officer explain to you that the basis of your detention was because of you not backing up or because of the privacy issue of the driver?
It was both. He said that, he told me to back up. I backed up a little bit. Then he said, she deserves privacy. And then I told him to go get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket. And at that point, his face turned bead red, and his veins in his neck stuck out because we were over 20 feet away. And you had to holler to hear each other because the wind was probably 30 miles an hour.
Did you at any point attempt to hit any of the officers involved?
No, absolutely not.
Did you intentionally swat at any of the officers?
Absolutely not. He was giving me unlawful commands. I should not have been detained after I identified as a member of the press. If he ever reached a hand out towards me, I wrestle and teach MMA and I have for 30 years. So it's just a natural reaction as I'm retreating from somebody. If I may have put my hand up, as he said, as he testified himself, I certainly am a law-abiding citizen. I don't break the law. So I would not have tried to assault an officer under any circumstances.
Is it possible that during the interactions there was inadvertent contact between you and the officer?
Sure, he decided to go hands-on with me when he was giving me unlawful commands. And there was absolutely no reason for it. I was willing to comply with anything he asked within reason, because I don't want to have a fist fight with another man on the street.
Do you recall the officer ordering you to go to his patrol vehicle?
I do.
And what did you do in response to that?
Initially, I told him no, but then when he began to get physical with me and start to grab me and touch me, I said, okay, I'll go over to your car. His car was 35 feet away. I then led him to his car. It's on video, you can see it. I walked right up to his car, and then he insisted still on grabbing me. After he saw me pull out an additional phone, which that's what press people do. We have lots of cameras on us.
And did you inform the officer that you were a member of the press?
Oh, several times. It's in the transcripts. I've transcribed them myself. Several times I told him I'm a member of the press.
And did you explain to the officer that you have a background in constitutional law?
Yes, I told him I'm a constitutional law scholar, which was a moniker given to me by other people who are also, they have their own channels, their own press, and that's what some other lawyers on another channel called me 3 years ago.
So let me get this straight, Chille. You're a constitutional law scholar because somebody else on a different channel said you are. You're so full of it. Let's roll a clip just to dispel that notion.
I'm also a constitutional law scholar. I'm a constitutional law scholar, not a mathematician. So, okay. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm a constitutional law scholar. Terry equals immediate detainment unless you're a constitutional law scholar.
I'm broadcasting this message to my thousands of followers on YouTube. I'm a constitutional law scholar.
You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be a constitutional law scholar. Focus on the numbers. You don't have to be a constitutional law scholar. Let me ask you something. So I'm a constitutional law scholar. You see on the back of my Don't talk to them. You're not a constitutional law scholar. Yes, it is. Who's the constitutional law scholar? Who's the cop? You know, I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm a constitutional law scholar.
So I'm not going to follow a mandate because I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I teach civil liberties.
While yours says elementary school, mine says constitutional law scholar. You're a clown, dude. I'm a constitutional law scholar. A constitutional law scholar.
Just to get some, I guess, further background, were you looking for police to report on this particular day?
No. No, the cops hide on the side of the road to pull people over. It's pretty regular in our country. I was just in the parking lot there. I saw that Mr. Bork had somebody pulled over, concerned for her safety. I began to film.
And why do you think that law enforcement traffic stops are relevant to the public?
That's where most people get killed.
Objection relevance. Stating that question. Move to strike.
Stating.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
State.
I have no questions for this witness.
Thank you. Sir, you may step down. This is defense rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any argument by the state?
Your Honor, the state asks you to find the defendant guilty of both the obstructing a public officer as well as resisting a public officer charged against him. The video very adequately portrays, and I don't think it's disputed by the defendant, what the context was of the interaction with the officer. I would venture to say that had the defendant just complied with the original order to not engage with the driver and to back up, we wouldn't be here. He wouldn't have found himself further engaging with Officer Bork. This is not a First Amendment issue. As you heard over and over and over again on video, Officer Bork did not have a problem with the defendant recording. It's not a First Amendment issue. It's an officer safety issue. Here you have an officer who conducted a lawful traffic stop. You saw the nature of the stop. There was no animosity between the officer and the driver. It was rather peaceful. They were engaged, banter back and forth. He would have, as he testified, he was trying to determine whether he was going to cite her or let her go with a warning. And then you have an individual, the defendant, introduce himself to a situation. Traffic stops, Your Honor, are inherently dangerous, particularly in crowded parking lots, I guess anywhere, I would venture to say. This officer was reasonable in thinking that anyone who would approach in the manner that the defendant approached his scene would have a reason to fear for his safety, or at least be suspicious of this individual's motives coming in. The officer had no problem with the recording. The officer had no problem with the defendant observing. It was when he inserted himself into this lawful detention that was occurring with the Hyundai driver that the officer turned his attention onto the defendant. This is not a First Amendment issue. This is an individual who took what he perceived to be his rights too far. The officer was well within his right, as well as acting reasonably when he asked him to back up. That 21-foot rule, it's appropriate. He said that was the training that they received in terms of the distance that's allowed for someone who means to do them harm. It's a threat assessment. We don't know when the defendant approached whether he had a gun concealed, whether he had a knife concealed, whether he had other weapons. And you'll hear multiple times in the video, Officer Bork yelling, "Stop reaching, stop reaching." This is an unknown, when defense counsel asked Officer Bork all of these questions about how it is that you do this, and Officer Bork kept responding, it depends on the situation, it depends on the totality of the circumstances. Here was an officer acting alone, individually, engaged one-to-one with a driver that he had no problem with. You insert another individual who enters the scene in the manner that the defendant did, and now this officer's attention is going to be divided. He had every reason to fear for his safety as well as that of the driver. Again, if he had just complied with the officer's commands or demands to back up, and a lot was made about, hey, he didn't have an opportunity to tell the defendant exactly how far back. As the officer testified, even just with the, hey, back up, the defendant didn't back up, not willingly. That's why the officer had to continue to engage with him and force him into the situation. Had he complied, he would not have been charged with obstruction. Had he complied initially, he would not have been charged with the resisting. The officer was, you are going to have to assess credibility. There's nothing in the video or Officer Bork's testimony that would cause the court to question his veracity or his intention for that matter. He was very honest in that he didn't believe the defendant wasn't trying to harm him necessarily with the SWAT. That's why the defendant wasn't charged with the battery on a protected person or police officer. But that SWAT, Your Honor, I would argue, was meant to resist. At that point in time, the officer was trying to detain him and subsequently arrest him on the obstruction as depicted in the video. And so at this point, I think we've proved by beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant did hinder Officer Bork's investigation and detention of the Hyundai driver, and that he resisted the officer's arrest and or attempt to arrest him. And so we would ask that you find the defendant guilty of both. Right? Thank you.
We're not going to listen to Chille's long-winded attorney try to get him out of this because there is no getting out of it. He's guilty as charged. So let's skip to the sentencing phase because that's the good part. Roll that clip.
A few minutes later.
All right, Mr. DeCastro, please stand. The problem with the argument that your attorney makes is it completely fails to consider the safety of the officer and the safety of the driver. The officer doesn't know who you are, and the driver doesn't know who you are. And you don't have any right to interfere with that officer doing his investigation and deciding if he wants to issue a ticket to this driver. And you also don't have any business approaching the driver. The driver didn't ask you for help. The driver didn't say, help, help. You didn't see an altercation happening between the officer and this driver. The officer didn't protest that you were filming. There's no problem with filming. You can film. It's fine. All right? But you did interfere with his investigation. You did interfere with his ability to do his job. You did put him in a position where he is concerned for his safety and the safety of the driver. So I believe the state's met their burden beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm going to find you guilty of obstructing a public officer and resisting a public officer. So I'd like to hear from the state and then your attorney prior to sentencing.
Your Honor, in terms of sentencing, I would ask that our defendant enter and complete an impulse control class. I would ask that the court lobby a $500 fine or the equivalent in community service. I would ask that the defendant be ordered to stay out of trouble for the pendency of the case. And I would ask for a 90-day suspended sentence. And that's on as to each count to one concurrent. That's our request. Thank you.
Take note that the prosecution is asking for a $500 fine and a 90-day suspended sentence in jail. And did you see the look on the judge when she said 90-day suspended sentence? The judge has something else in mind. Again, we're going to skip over the defense attorney. Let's get right to the crux of the matter.
A few minutes later.
When you say he doesn't wish to engage in any wrongdoing, it seems to me from observing him in the video that he wants this. He wants to get arrested. He wants to get into an altercation with the police officers. He welcomes this. This helps his YouTube channel. He called the officers here in my courtroom today pigs. He called and he's nodding his head up and down. So apparently he hates every law enforcement officer in the United States. All right. Please stand up, sir. Are you finished with your request for credit for time served?
I would just emphasize, Your Honor, that the defendant testified and he sincerely believes that he is providing a public service when he reviews and films these incidents. I understand the court may have a different view of that, but when we're talking about First Amendment public policy issues such as supervising people involved in government, I think that is something the court can take into consideration, not to have a chilling effect on that. I'll spit on that, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. DeCastro, please stand. I hereby sentence you to 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 1, 90 days in the Clark County Detention Center on count 2, to run consecutive for a total of 180 days in custody. Thank you.
Sentence suspended or?
Oh no, I'm going to start right now.
Can you put your please? I'm right to your shoulders. This is a travesty of justice. Unbelievable. I don't like police. They put me in jail for half a year. How long have I been in the police? Just get in the car. Yeah, it's in the return. Can I give you my keys real fast? My keys are in there. In the garage. They're inside my. Can you enjoy it? No, in the briefcase. Yeah, I'll get your stuff. It's a minivan, so I'll put the place on it. Get a hold of my assistant, James.
Now that's the true walk of shame right there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get any worse than that. Got his head down and he's walking back in torture cuffs. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to make him bend over, spread his butt cheeks, and look up there with a flashlight. Yeah, I bet you're going to love that, boy. Just to make sure he was in jail, I checked at the Clark County website, and there he is. He's an inmate. Oh, Chille, how embarrassing for you. Perhaps Chille should have brought his indestructible trifold to court. That might have helped him out a little bit. He could have showed the judge. Now, to finish up this video, let's take a look at a clip that got him into trouble. It's not the clip that just got him sent to jail for 180 days, but he has another hearing coming up for this video on May 1st. The lad just doesn't know when to shut his mouth. Let's roll that clip.
Can we help you?
You could just do your job, mind your own business. That's what you could do.
Excuse me?
I told you, I'd say it again, you could mind your own business. I'm doing my job. I appreciate your time. But just, if I was you, I'd just shut your mouth so I don't put you in your place. That's what I'd do if I was you. I'd shut up. If I was you. Unless you want to look like an idiot on YouTube.
We're still pretty close to the road, so let's push this out a little bit further.
If you just keep going that way for me, I'm okay if you video, but video over there for
Don't
me,
tell me where to stand. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm suing you guys for $5 million. I'll sue you for $5 million more.
Hey, let's see if I have this right. A constitutional law scholar who's never won a lawsuit. Oh, and I'm telling you, Chille, you won't win the $5 million ones either. See, he's got 2 $5 million lawsuits filed in Las Vegas right now. They're going to laugh him out of court.
You don't have a right to tell me what to do.
I'm just asking
Shut your piggish mouth.
And
don't approach me. Shut your mouth.
Sir, do you see the crime
Shut
scene
your
tape
mouth
over there?
and shut your mouth.
Do you see
I'm
the
your
tape?
boss.
Do you see the tape
You
over
understand that?
Let's
Shut
go
your
back
mouth.
over
I'm
there.
walking down the street. Mind your own business.
No,
I'm just standing here. If you hadn't approached
I'm the
me,
sergeant.
don't come behind me, piggy. Okay? If you hadn't approached me, I don't give a damn what you are. You're not a sergeant. Shut your mouth. I'm here doing my job. I'm a member of the press. I invoke my First Amendment right.
Okay.
Now, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right, so don't ask me another question. Take 3 steps back, gentlemen. I'm not your suspect. Take 3 steps back from me.
So there's a crime scene
Take
over
3
there,
steps
and
back
you're
from
standing
me.
in a crime scene now,
I'm
so you
walking
need to
down the
leave.
street. I can walk
Okay.
anywhere I want. There's not crime
This is
scene
the
right
crime
here.
scene.
The crime tape would be over here then, wouldn't it, dunce cap?
Speaking of dunce cap, you're a member of the press, huh? Who do you work for? Oh, that's right. He's an independent jackwagon. Chille, I would have loved to seen him behind bars. He was behind bars for 12 hours. I bet he didn't run his smart mouth while he was in there, did he? He probably hid in the corner somewhere and prayed nobody would jump on him. Oh, he needed his mommy.
I get you didn't graduate from high school,
crime
did you?
scene tape right there, okay?
We're just asking you to
I don't
step
give a
over
rat's
there.
ass what you say. Do you understand that?
Sir,
I don't
you
care
don't have
what
to
you
make
say.
this
I'm not
difficult,
breaking
sir.
any laws. Make it difficult. If you'd mind your own damn business, we wouldn't be talking right now. If you hadn't opened your mouth, I wouldn't be talking to you.
I'm
just filming this.
You're okay to film.
I'm a member of
I'm
the
just
press. I
asking to
told
film
you I
over
invoke
there.
my Fifth Amendment right. You have a
your-
right to
you
ask me
have-
questions.
You have your.
I got the
film- you have
First
your
Amendment.
press
What are the
documents.
first 5 big freedoms of the
Where are
First
your press
Amendment?
documents,
You have
sir?
your press
I'm a
documents, sir.
constitutional law scholar, you dunce cap. What's it like to
Sir,
be so stupid?
there's
I wonder what
crime
that's
scene
like.
tape right there,
What's
and
it
that's
like
where
to
you
be
need
a
to go.
moron?
You walked
What's it like to
underneath-
not know our
sir,
rights?
You walked underneath
Correct
the crime
him.
scene tape already, sir.
Hey, correct him, sir. Correct this man. Explain to him that he doesn't have a right. Don't
Sir,
put your hands on
you've
me.
already-
I would love to talk to one of the prosecuting attorneys and see what their opinion is when he says, I'm a constitutional law scholar. Well, hey, constitutional law scholar, the Fifth Amendment is for when you testify in court. It's not for when you're standing on the street corner. Yeah, you invoke the Fifth Amendment in a court of law because you don't want to incriminate yourself. You stupid law professor.
You walked across
Are you
the
gonna run
crime
over
scene
and grab
tape.
me? Are you gonna run over and grab me?
Sir, you've already.
Are you gonna run over?
Sir,
I'm walking down the street,
Keep
gentlemen.
walking,
I have a
man.
right to film this.
Keep
You
walking.
understand that?
I understand.
I have a right to
I'm
film
asking
this.
you to
If you
film
touch
over
me,
there.
I will sue you. I
You're
sue
more
you
than
cops
crime
every
scene tape
time.
already, sir.
I was walking down the street. I have a right to do so.
Okay, but we
There's
are
crime
telling
scene
you
tape.
that you need to
Your cop
continue
told me to
walking.
walk over here. I have it on video.
Okay, and I understand that.
You're confronting me when you should be working on your job.
If you
I love when frauditors say, I'm the boss. I'm your boss. You work for me. Not likely, Chille. I don't know. Are you living in Nevada now? You bozo? Yeah, he's not a boss. He's a bozo. Lives in his van. Doesn't even have a permanent residence. You're a pitiful little man, Chille.
Go ahead and arrest me and find out how quick I sue your ass.
Sir.
Just do it.
Okay.
Okay, I have to walk the other
go to
way,
the crime
so I'm
scene
going to
tape,
be
sir.
walking over here.
Go to the crime scene tape, sir.
Don't tell me what to do.
please go that way.
Don't tell me what to do.
Then let's just
You're
start
not my
walking.
boss.
I'm giving you a lawful order. Let's start walking now. Let's go. We're going this way.
Are you going to put your hands on me now? Leave me
Well,
alone.
listen, sir, we're this way.
Well, don't touch me, dude.
I'm just standing here.
I'm
to where you need to go.
Are you guys going to surround me? Leave me alone.
I am escorting you to where
There's
you
no
need
reason
to
to
go.
do this. I'm not trying to fight anybody.
I'm
There's
not
no
saying you're
victim
doing
here.
it,
There's
sir.
no crime. You're just trying to dominate another
Let's do
person.
the- go to
Just
the crime
leave
scene
me
tape, sir.
alone. Okay, I can leave, but you don't have to walk
Okay,
up on
then
me.
let's go. You haven't
So
left
what's
yet.
the emergency? Is there an
Because
emergency?
we-
Somebody's
You're
dead,
trying
sir. Is that
Okay,
enough emergency
but
for
where
you?
are they at?
Let's go.
Where are they at? Where are they at? Are they right here?
Let's go, sir.
Am I causing any problems?
Frauditors always talk about de-escalation, but Chille, no, he wants to escalate. He's the one that's causing the problem right now, and it's all for clicks and views. It's all for the camera. It's all for YouTube.
Sir, let's go.
The only thing you're
Come
doing
on.
is losing
Let's
your
go, sir.
cool, acting like an
Sir,
idiot.
the crime scene tape is
You're
right here.
acting like
Let's
a
go.
dunce cap.
Let's go, sir.
You're on camera
Let's
acting
go,
like a
sir.
moron,
Let's go.
bro.
Come on, sir.
No, look at this. I got 1, 2,
No, we're
3, 4
escorting
cops.
you to make
For
sure
what?
you
What
leave
good's it
the
doing?
area.
What good's it doing?
Just go on
You
the
don't
other
need to
side of the
escort me.
crosswalk.
Go back to where you're
You
going.
haven't left
I'm
yet.
walking. I'm walking right now.
Now let's
Oh,
go.
now you're threatening me with violence. Now this guy's threatening me with violence.
Let's go, sir.
Now they're pushing me. Look at their hands all over me. Look at that. Look at that.
You're right.
All,
We're escorting you.
don't touch me, boys. Don't. What are you?
Well, there you have it, good people. Stupid is as stupid does, and they don't get much more stupid than Chille de Castro with his trifold, his indestructible trifold. Yeah, you picked on the wrong ones today, Chille. 12 hours behind bars. Too bad you couldn't do longer. Could have got to know Bubba and the boys. Well, at any rate, if you enjoy watching stupid people do stupid things on my channel, this is the place for you. And please subscribe. As always, thanks so much for stopping by, Chille. You want to file another false copyright strike, sweetheart? Feel free. Cheers to that.
I've actually studied English, and I have over a 400 level education in English. I'm not sitting down. I refuse to sit down. I refuse. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Nothing. You can come try to make me. You're welcome to try to make me. Take a swing. Take a swing.
What is the reason for calling the officers here?
No reason I'm really unhappy that somebody did this to me.
We'll arrest you for trespassing in a minute.
On public property?
Yeah, we're asking you to leave and you're not leaving. That's trespassing.
She's right in my face, guys. You can't come up and touch me like that.
You don't have permission to film me in any space.
I don't need permission to
Yes, you do.
record you in public, man.
Actually,
no, that's
you
the
do.
law.
Oh, is that like a law?
Against the law.
Oh, what law is that? Funny, because I've never heard about that. I pay for that uniform, I pay for that car, I'm the taxpayer, right? You work for me, right? You're just a little guy. You're just a little guy. You work for me. You are a public servant. You are a public servant. You work for me.